Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your girl Priestess. Thank you for joining this conversation. If you would like the full video representation of this will be behind the Patreon. The uncensored version will be in the Priestess's office, and the naked version will be under Yannick T's Naturist tier. Also, thank you for boosting my crowdfunding effort. I'm still in need, and every boost and share counts. I'm still in need to make sure that I'm able to cover rent for this month, as well as any utilities, any late fees. Any amount helps. Thank you again. And you can also support me and help grow this podcast by liking, sharing, subscribing, and meaningfully engaging. And please check out my other links and other blog posts. New blog posts will be coming to Talk to Priestess at yannicktaylor.com. So let's go ahead and hit that intro. Live, love, and be free. What's up, my royal priesthood? It's your girl Priestess. Hey, what's up, my royal priesthood? It's your girl Priestess. Here's another naked vlog for you. It's been 2 years since I've had facial feminization surgery. And it just dawned on me at the end of this week that, and the time I'm recording this is like September the 27th. So like the day before that Friday, it just dawned on me that it was my 2-year anniversary of facial fem. I have been busy this week reworking my resume, looking for another job, creating content, streaming, and just getting things together for me. And in the midst of all of this, I looked at the calendar and I'm like, oh my gosh, my 2nd-year anniversary of facial fem has just passed. And I've taken a look at my old pictures, and I still do this periodically. I looked at some of my old pictures from when I was younger up until like the week before my facial fem surgery. And then I look at pictures since then and how everything has settled. It's now in place. I'm aging gracefully, and I'm just happy. I'm very happy. I have had some dysphoric moments at times, and that's just been due to constant bombardment of unrealistic beauty standards that are required to be deemed acceptable or passable by the general public or people who are not trans. And when those feelings arise, I take a look at myself in the mirror and I'll go and play in some makeup, or even if I don't play in any makeup, I'll look at myself in the mirror and I start encouraging myself. And I remember, Diva, you just had facial feminization surgery 2 years ago. You are still fabulous. And then I think about how the beauty standard came to be, and I'm like, fuck all of that. I don't have to follow a rigid beauty standard. I'm not required to do that because I go against the gender binary rather. And by me kicking against the gender binary, baby, I no longer have to please anybody. I'm doing me, and doing me is rebellion in and of itself. Living in your truth is breaking against the system, okay? Remember that. And you know, what took me getting to that point was decentering men. Even pre-transition, we were conditioned that everything has to be to the appeasement of men. Even as men, how men carry themselves. They carry themselves not for the approval of their own selves, but they live for the approval of other men. They live for the approval of their male friends. That's why a lot of them are more loyal to their friends than they are in relationships. But I'm gonna leave that alone for another day. And you know, I look at how when I thought that I was a cisgender male, I still made sure that I tailored myself to where I wouldn't get harassed by cisgender males, by my peers. But then I stopped giving a fuck. I stopped caring. I started living life on my own terms. And I'm so happy that I did start living life on my own terms, because had I not started living life on my own terms, I would still be stuck in a box and I would not be happy. That's why I don't regret having facial feminization surgery. When I look back at my old pictures, I often do side by sides and I look at where they did um, the brow surgery. They shaved my brow bone. I see where they, you know, feminized my nose, where they feminized my jawline, where they minimized my hairline, where they did all these wonderful things. And it is a very complex process. Um, it took over 12 hours for them to do my surgery. And like, I remember coming to after the surgery, and the first thing that I could think of was, whoa, the surgery is over. I survived it. But where is my partner? I was looking for my partner as well. And not only have I celebrated 2 years of my facial feminization surgery, but I've also celebrated 2 years in my relationship. And I'm so gosh darn diddly happy that, you know, I have found love and I'm in a very happy place. And this all happened before I had facial feminization surgery. And this all comes off the heels of me being suddenly homeless, dealing with the nonsense that I had to deal with the church. And I feel so much better now that I've gotten facial feminization surgery. A lot of times people will try to come down hard on transgender people for having gender affirming surgeries, but they say nothing to cisgender people when they have gender affirming surgeries. And the fact that they tried to say gender affirming care makes trans people violent, but what about the cisgender people who have gotten these surgeries, who have done all these things, and you see them make a mockery of black culture. You see them make a mockery of other ethnicities and other people's backgrounds and things like that. And you be like, for real? For real? That's why I made sure that when I transitioned for me and that I made sure I wasn't doing it for anybody's attention. And as I journeyed into my womanhood and continued to make this journey in womanhood, I realized that the more I decenter men, the freer I get, the more liberated I am. And in decentering men, I no longer have to worry about how I look to them. I'm worried about how I look for myself, and I want to make sure that I'm serving sexy for my partner. And the key thing about loving yourself is surrounding yourself with people who accept you for who you are. That is going to be a major part of your transition. And I know it's hard right now in this climate for those who are under the sound of my voice. But if you are beginning your transition or considering transitioning, it's going to be some points to where it does get a little bit scary. It does get a little bit, tedious. And you worry, are you going to have that support? Because when you transition, there are going to be people who walk away. There are going to be people who get upset because you're living in your truth. It could be for religious reasons, or it could just be for their own selfish reasons, or whatever their politics are. And the further you go into, especially gender affirming surgeries, and you start talking about hormone replacement therapy and all these things, you're going to have people that are going to try and stop you, or they're going to try to talk against you. And it sucks sometimes because you're just living your truth and you just want to be accepted for who you are. And for whatever reason, some people think you're not worthy of that. But honey, I'm here to tell you that you are worthy. You deserve to be loved and accepted, okay? It hurt when I lost friends during the healing process. I realized that when a particular friend, um, the Butch Queen Virgo, felt like that I was becoming too much woman in a sense, like he felt like I was quote unquote taking my transition too far. I realized that he really didn't desire to understand the trans experience. And I had to come to acceptance that he never will accept that. So I had to end that friendship. And seeing how he felt even about cisgender women, I had to cut that short because you can't tell me that you respect me as a trans woman, but you can't respect cisgender women. Trans women are women, cisgender women are women. We're all women. So, like, if you can't respect women, I don't trust you to respect anybody at this point, to be honest. And in those 2 years, I've lost friends and I've gained friends, but also I found a new side of my beauty as well. And when I say I found a new side of my beauty, I found another piece of my inner beauty and another piece of my natural beauty, of my physical beauty. Like I've I've always loved my blackness, but the love I have for my blackness is none other, and I love it. I love my transness, and since I've had facial film, I have done some events that require nudity, and I've hung out in social nude settings, and I feel much more confident. I feel more at ease with myself. I remember as a kid looking in the mirror when I was younger, looking in the mirror at my grandmother's house, and how I wanted to have more feminine features. And now that I have not tailor made myself, now that I've in I've made myself even more beautiful than what I already am. I just I just did what was right for me and worked magic that I had at my disposal. And I see nothing wrong with that. I remember I had several people tell me that, Yannick, you don't need the surgeries. You don't need all this. You don't need that. You're perfect as you are. Yes, I get that, but I want what I want for me. I don't want what everybody else wants for me. I want what I want for me. And if you can't respect that, then I'm sorry. You can't be a part of my life. But in the time that I've had facial feminization, I've also seen how certain people have changed towards me. There were people who didn't pay attention to me before, but now since then, they have been all up in my face and in my DMs. And I'm like, where was this energy before? And I recognize now that I fit a more acceptable beauty standard, now you want to be up in my face. And I ain't having that. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Because, like, if you can't accept me at the beginning part of something, then you can't be a part of the beautiful result stage. You can't be a part of that, and that's not my problem. That's not my problem. Not my problem. It's not my problem because I'm not gonna put up with all of that. You get what I'm saying? And I told my best friend and my partner that my goal with facial feminization was not to pass, but to make sure I'm happy within, because I immediately was prepared for the possibility that surgery may not go the way I wanted to. I may not get the results, but I am satisfied with the results. I'm happier. Now, I will say at one point, I thought about getting another rhinoplasty, getting some more nose work done. But I remember my surgeon told me that he didn't want to take too much off of my nose because he felt like if he did too much, it would take away from the beauty that I already have, but it would take away from my features. And I agree with him. I agree with him. Part of me wanted to redo my chin, but then the more I look at myself in the mirror, and even while I'm doing this broadcast, looking in the studio part of my platform, damn, I look good, honey. I'm a fine looking woman. And I'm happy that I've gained that much more self-esteem. I'm happy that I'm happy, and I don't regret it, you know. And I was afraid that I would be one of those people that because you got the work that you wanted to get done, that you would become one of those mean girls. And I've seen the type across all genders, that people who've gotten different types of cosmetic work done, even sometimes gender affirming surgery for cis people, I've seen people start acting like they shit don't stink. I've seen people act like they got it going on, like they're all that in a bag of chips. And I hate behavior like that, because I feel like if you have to act like you're better than somebody, then you're still projecting that low self-esteem. And while it's good that you did, you know, lose weight. It's good that you may have gained weight. It's good that you got the muscle body. It's good that you had the cosmetic work done, the implants and all of that. But if you haven't done the inner work, then it's all in vain. You can't beautify yourself on the outside without taking care of the inner work. If you don't fix the inner part, it's not going to work. Like, people are going to see through the facade at the end of the day, you know. And going back to, decentering men, that was one thing that I had in mind. The surgery is not for anybody else's comfort but mine. It's not for the cis gays at all. It's for me. And if there is a God somewhere, so be it. I don't believe in God, but if there's a God somewhere, okay, that's between me and the universe, how I do the work. And I'm sure Mother Nature is proud of what I've done with her work. I'm taking care of my temple, but I'm also making myself happy. And I just think Mother God, Mother Nature, she is satisfied as well. I don't see any harm in people getting gender affirming care. I just wanted to share my thoughts coming up on this 2-year anniversary of facial feminization. And if you're under the sound of my voice, if you've ever done something, maybe got a haircut, may have gotten cosmetic work, went to the gym, whatever it is, to make yourself happier in how you express yourself, how you express your personhood, I want you to chime in and let me know what you've done, and let me know, how you treat yourself, the things that you do to make yourself feel happy about you. So y'all live, love, and be free. I'm out. Smooches.